Honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you will recall that around this time last year, His Excellency, Most Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, presented the 2022 budget estimate titled Budget of Wealth Creation, the People's Budget, in a makeshift apartment where we ran to for shelter and for fear of being caved in with a dilapidated and time-bomb assembly complex. It was indeed a tough period for both the honorable members and staff of Imo State House of Assembly, who had to work on an environment devoid of conducive atmosphere for legislative efficiency and effectiveness. We must therefore give thanks and praise to God Almighty, who in His mercy has contributed to protect and guide us throughout this year, 2022, despite orchestrated challenges caused by non-state actors and other divisive elements. God Almighty has enabled our beloved governor, Most Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, to record unprecedented accomplishments using 2022 appropriation bill. You will agree with me, distinguished colleagues, that today is a special day because 2023 budget estimate is being presented not in the once dilapidated eyesore House of Assembly complex, but in a world-class, state-of-the-art digitalized chamber, the best House of Assembly chamber in black and white Africa. It is therefore heartwarming that our governor, who made this possible, our governor, who judiciously applied the 2022 budget to build this House of Assembly complex, cum chamber, Most Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, is with us today in our hallowed chamber to present the 2023 budget estimate titled Budget of Wealth Expansion. Your Excellency, on behalf of my colleagues and staff of Imo State House of Assembly, we thank you immensely for the great edifice and for other numerous infrastructural developmental projects spanning across our dear state, Imo, which include the reconstruction of Owerri-Olu Road and installation of street lights on it, the reconstruction of Owerri-Okigwe Road and installation of street lights on it, the ongoing reconstruction of Owerri-Mbise-Umuahia Road, the reconstruction of Chukwumawoha and the Tiger Road, which were impassable before you came on board, and also installed street lights on them. The reconstruction of World Bank Federal Secretariat Road, which was also impassable before you came on board. Reconstruction of Warehouse Abalink Road, and the reconstruction of all the roundabouts in the state, particularly the ones in the Owerri metropolis, and installation of traffic lights on them. And this, to a very large extent, has eased the flow of traffic in the state. Dear distinguished colleagues, it is obvious that the 2022 appropriation bill was judiciously dispensed with so many life-changing projects embarked upon by the executive. We members of Imo State House of Assembly shall not fail in our duties to painstakingly look at the nitty-gritty of this 2023 budget estimate and pass them on record time in the interest of the ongoing development in our dear state, Imo. I assure that this House, through effective oversight, will ensure that when 2023 budget estimate is passed into law, we deliver its promises to stimulate the economy of our dear state, Imo. We have to specially thank you for taking the insecurity situation in the state with proactiveness which it requires. I want to assure you, Your Excellency, that we will embark on the speedy passage of the budget so that by next year you will continue your good works to the good of our people, the people of Imo State. This ninth House of Assembly, under my leadership, has enjoyed a robust mutual relationship with the executive. This has not only created a conducive working environment, but has enabled the House to make immense contributions through legislation and resolutions geared towards legal backing to policies and programs of government. On this note, on behalf of myself, my colleagues, and staff of Imo State House of Assembly, I wish to thank once again our performing and beloved governor, His Excellency Most Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, his entourage, and other guests who came to witness the budget estimate presentation. Long live Your Excellency. Long live our dear state, Imo. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you, and may Almighty God continue to bless and see us through in Jesus' name. Clerk.
Under order of the day, item number 9, presentation of the year 2023 appropriation bill by the Governor of Imo State, His Excellency Distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma.
Your Excellency, I respectfully and humbly request you to please present the 2023 draft budget speech to the House. Thank you.
Imo State House of Assembly, the leadership and members of Imo State House of Assembly, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Imo State, Professor Placid Njoko, the Secretary to the Government of Imo State, and other political appointees who are with us here, members of Imo State Expanded Executive Council, the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice, Imo State, the Clerk, Imo State House of Assembly, staffs and workers of Imo State House of Assembly, the Chairman, Imo State Council of Traditional Rulers, His Royal Highness Dr. E.C. Okeke, CFR, the Chairman, Imo State Elders Council, His Royal Highness C.I. Lomaya, former speakers and deputy speakers of Imo State House of Assembly who are here, stakeholders and leaders of Imo State who are here with us, distinguished Imo leaders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Speaker, the leadership of the House of Assembly, Imo State, honorable members of the hallowed chambers, it gives me a very great pleasure to address you on this glorious day of our Lord, on the occasion of the formal presentation of the 2023 budget estimates. About this time last year, I was in these hallowed chambers to present the 2022 budget estimates for your consideration. Although this ceremony is more or less an annual issue, in accordance with the provisions of Section 121 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. I'm sure that you can all spot the big difference between last year's event and that of today. As you know, last year we presented the 2022 budget to you in your house of exile in Egypt, so to say. At the previous event, all of us, myself, members, were struggling to find sitting spaces and some comfort because your house, so to say, was a sorry statement on what a hallowed chamber should be. The story was the same when I presented my first budget estimate for 2021 to this honorable house. Today, the difference is as clear as daylight in summer. The hallowed chambers in which we are all comfortably seated today is not only befitting for this honorable house, but indeed any legislative house anywhere in the world. Not only is it modern and beautiful, but it enhances legislative capacity. And this is one of the proud products of our shared prosperity administration in less than 3 years. This is something previous administrations could not do for nearly 10 years. Let me therefore use this August event of the presentation of the 2023 budget estimates to congratulate you on your new state-of-the-art legislative chambers and to welcome you back from your 10-year sojourn in exile. It is my prayer that never again shall you return to Egypt. Never again will you make laws for Imo people in excruciating discomfort. Welcome to the shared prosperity world, where the dignity of the three arms of government, being the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary, will never be compromised. So, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, permit me to use this wonderful edifice delivered by our three-arm government, which you are part of, as the point of contact of our achievements in the fiscal year 2022, to declare that we have done exceptionally very well indeed. I shall return to this subject very shortly. As you will recall, on each occasion that I have presented budget estimates to honorable members, I had always emphasized that the new Imo state of our vision is anchored on freedom, security, and shared prosperity, manifested in practical good governance that all can see. On each occasion, I have also assured you that despite the huge infrastructure deficit we inherited, coupled with the paucity of funds and the sorry state of the socio-economic facilities we met on assumption of office, that we will not be daunted from making spirited efforts to turn things around for the better. You will agree with me that we have walked that talk and we have kept faith with the good people of Imo State. Almost 3 years down the line, even the most chronic cynics or critics will agree that Imo State has witnessed a breathtaking transformation that has permanently changed both her landscape and fortunes for good. There is no doubt that I have repeatedly promised good governance, promised shared prosperity, equity, justice, and the rule of law, which have been the defining hallmarks of my administration. Even in the face of daunting challenges, including the unrelenting onslaught of contrived banditry from those who have vowed to make the state ungovernable for me, we have remained tenaciously focused on the goal of delivering the dividend of democracy to our people. If we see from the world-class dualized highways of Owerri to Olu, Okigwe, and the ongoing Owerri to Umuahia, and the Olumbe-Oga roads, which is almost at the final stage of its design, it is clear that we are determined to open up the infrastructure space for an unprecedented economic boom, both in trade, commerce, and tourism for our people. Distinguished honorable members, Mr. Speaker, it is against this background of sustained prosperity-driven policies for our people, which has always seen us make audacious inroads into industrial policy for formulation, digital economy and e-government, and massive wealth creation through unprecedented youth empowerment, programs and Skill Up Imo Digital Agenda that I present the 2023 budget estimate, which I have rightly christened Budget of Wealth Expansion. This is a step further than the 2022 budget, rightly christened Budget of Wealth Consolidation and Recovery. While in the outgoing 2022 fiscal year, we concentrated on wealth consolidation, part of which saw the recovery of the looted patrimony of Imo people, our fiscal focus next year is to expand the wealth created by our government and touch the lives of every Imo household. I believe that 2023 is the year we should expand our wealth creation drive to reach all the nook and crannies of the 27 local government areas in Imo State. This is what defines the 2023 budget estimates. At this juncture, let me now take you through the major achievements we recorded this year, which gave an insight into the performance of the 2022 budget. The reconstruction of major roads. The Owerri-Olu road was fully dualized with street lights powered by solar energy, fully completed and commissioned by His Excellency, the President of Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammad Buhari. The first phase of reconstruction and expansion of Owerri-Okigwe Road, which covers Angana section, has been completed with solar-powered street lights and also commissioned. Work is rapidly ongoing on the remaining section of that road, and if all things being equal, will be completed very soon. The construction of Owerri Mbise Umuahia and the Olumbe Akokwa Road have been flagged off, and work is ongoing. While the construction have started on Mbise Umuahia Road, because of new developments, the Olumbe Akokwa Road is being redesigned. The following urban roads have been constructed and completed to ease movement in the urban centers of Owerri, Olu, and Okigwe. And these include the construction and rehabilitation of Imo State University Teaching Hospital Road, which is about 2.05 kilometers. The reconstruction and rehabilitation of Akashi Road, Owerri, 1.35 kilometers. The construction of Iheshowa Street and adjoining roads in Owerri, 1.350 kilometers. The construction and rehabilitation of internal roads in Uzodimma Estate, Lekunwebere Street, Olokoro Street, Umuahia Street, Okaipe Street, Arugo Street, Eboma Street, and Ngwa Street, all in Owerri. the construction of Imo State University Bishop Court Road, 1.2 kilometers. Construction, rehabilitation of Thomas More Gozewachuku, JP Ajelu Street, Owerri, 1.450 kilometers. Construction and rehabilitation of the Warehouse Junction, Umezrike Hospital, Emmanuel College Roundabout, with spur to the Rolls-Royce Road Junction, and the Emmanuel College layout, 7.2 kilometers. Other urban roads are being reconstructed and rehabilitated in the 3 senatorial zones and has been provided for in the 2023 budget estimate. The state government, in a bid to upscale and improve power supply to communities, created the Ministry of Power and Rural Electrification to coordinate and formulate policies within the power sector. Rehabilitation of 2 transformer substations in the state secretariat to ensure regular public power supply has been completed, and light has been restored also to the ministerial blocks to provide conducive working environment. The state will procure new transformers and upgrade the existing ones to ensure that communities have regular electricity supply in the year 2023, working with Eastern Electricity Distribution Company. In the water sector, the government sponsored the baseline assessment of the policies, institutions, and regulations in the state. This will help protect the sustainable urban and rural water supply, sanitation, and hygiene projects somewhat. The government recently hosted stakeholders in the water sector within the Southeast Zone under Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet campaign. Other achievements include the training of 83 number youths as facility caretakers to manage the established 83 number solar water schemes that were constructed and rehabilitated by the government. The training of 2,700 youths under the Youth Empowerment Program for Clean Nigerian Project. The training of 27 local government watch coordinators for community-led total sanitation implementation in Imo State. The rehabilitation of Oluama, Olo, Oji, and Debada water schemes. Reactivation of government house water projects. In a bid to restore public water supply, replacement of pipe network in Owerri, the government has undertaken and is ongoing now within the municipal area to ensure that the proper water supply is in place. Urban renewal. The urban renewal program is aimed at giving a facelift to the entire Owerri municipality. The renewal program was boosted with the reconstruction and upgrading of many road intersections, junctions, for easy movement of motorists. Ornamental trees were planted as well as grassing of the green bars of the municipality. The capital city is wearing a new look as shanties along major roads and streets have been demolished. Humanitarian affairs, disaster management, and social development. The coordination of all social investment programs from federal government and its implementation is a key avenue for alleviating poverty in the state. Thanks to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari. The homegrown school feeding program engaged 3,266 food vendors, cooks for schools in the state from basic 1 to 3, which ensures adequate nutrition for school children. The Government Enterprises and Empowerment Program, GEP, gives loans to vulnerable groups. 2,666 people have already benefited from the program. The conditional cash transfer program, which deals with support to the lowest poverty level group by improving household consumption and nutrition, is also ongoing in the state. The cash transfer benefit to various categories of the poor and the vulnerable in the state is 129,900 drawn from the 27 local government areas of the state. Efforts are being intensified to enroll more people. The state government, through the N-Power program, has sent 1,125 beneficiaries for internship in different fields to learn skills in which they will be funded for startups. Disaster management. The government intervened in the fire outbreak at Uzodimma due to illegal refining of crude oil, in which over 100 persons were burnt to death. Relief materials were sent to the affected communities, while mass burial was done for the victims to avoid epidemics. The recent flooding of the Niger River led to inundation of several communities in Uzodimma local government and Oguta local government areas. The state government did not hesitate to tackle the emergencies that arose from the flood event. Relief materials such as blankets, mattresses, mosquito nets, beverages, drugs, and food items were sent to the people. The internally displaced camps, earlier built and abandoned by former government, were renovated as early warning signs on the flood event, as it became eminent that the evacuation of the people to a better place and the reduction of casualties during this period was necessary for government. Health sector. Government has as one of its objectives to ensure that the health of Imo citizens is paramount. While I have ensured that all the public servants of the state are enrolled in the National Health Insurance Scheme, the Health Insurance Agency was elevated to ministerial level to enable the ministry to enroll more citizens of the state into the National Health Insurance Program. The annual operation plan of the Ministry of Health was conducted to outline a 5-year strategic plan to ensure access to health care. The Primary Healthcare Development Agency in the state caters for the majority of the populace who live in rural areas. The one-stop primary healthcare implementation is being given attention to ensure that no one is left out in accessing healthcare. As we speak, a total of 96,834 malaria-infected patients were treated, while 44,723 pregnant women were given IPT preventive drugs against malaria. The School of Nursing that lost accreditation were granted accreditation by the Nursing Board, while basic science laboratories and ICT units were built to attract accreditation and ensure that students are well empowered to face their studies. Water scheme was also constructed for the School of Nursing in Olo. The state government, in the bid to provide affordable houses to the citizens, has acquired more land from rural communities, and any moment from now, we will embark on complete construction of more mass housing estates. Due to the seriousness attached to land management, the state government has implemented the white paper on lands. In a bid to settle the boundary disputes between states and her neighboring states, government has given support to the National Boundary Commission for the development of ethnographic studies to enable her determine the authentic boundaries of the states. This will ensure proper demarcation of the state boundaries, thereby reducing communal clashes and conflicts with neighboring communities in other states. Even within the states, the State Boundary Committee has done a lot of job in resolving issues of land disputes between communities. The government acquired 20 hectares of land at Obako, which has been allocated to Nigerian Customs Service for establishing a customs training school and a customs barrack. In like manner, 10 hectares of land was acquired at Mburichi for the establishment of Federal Fire Service Zonal Headquarters. In education, The Human Capital Development Index and standard of living of a people, whatever they have, is a key indicator and is determined prominently by the level of education of the people. Therefore, Imo State does not lag behind in providing adequate educational infrastructure. We will continue to ensure that our schools, that is the primary, the secondary and tertiary institutions, are provided with conducive learning environments. Our efforts at providing access to technical, vocation, and entrepreneurship skills is to pull youth out of unemployment and make them busy with one form of profession or the other. Also, the K.O. Mbadewe University, recovered for the government a few years ago, has taken off fully. In like manner, the University of Agriculture and Environmental Sciences has also taken off, while the Imo State Polytechnic has been successfully relocated. Commerce and industrialization. The business community in the state is vital to the economy of the state. The government has provided good networks of roads for businesses to thrive, while specialized and some rural markets are being upgraded. This shall not only empower the businessmen and women, but also bring revenue to the state. Investment partners have been visiting the state to know how they can cue into our agenda of revitalizing our moribund industry. We are also seeking other alternatives, such as public-private partnerships, to revamp some of the ailing industries. The oil and gas industry has grown, and the state is now a beehive of activities, especially with the hybrid refinery at Oshie and an oil gas project at Asa or Haji. In agriculture, the importance of agriculture in our economy cannot be overemphasized. Many of our people are rural farmers. We have continued to encourage farmers through access to funds meant for agriculture to increase production. The government has on its own made tremendous efforts at attracting development partners to the agricultural sector. The rubber plantation industry in Imo State has suffered major setbacks from previous administration. The state government is poised to reposition our rubber estates at Obiti, in our Hajebuma, and the Emeabia, in the Owerri West local government, Umwekwen Okune, in Ngopala, and make the rubber industry the hub of the Southeast. In doing this, we have recently started discussions with the private sector in our bid to activate this industry. And if that happens, the employment that will generate will be something to reckon with. The government has attracted the World Bank assisted project in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and Livelihood Resilience Support Project, ELPRES, to support agro-industrial development and enhance food security. The Acharubo livestock farm was rehabilitated, and an MOU will be signed any moment from now with the National Agricultural Land Development Authority and the private sector to be able to make sure that that place is active. I've also given approval for the participation of the state in Special Agro-Industrial Zone, SAPZ project of the African Development Bank and the International Fund for Agricultural Development, IFAD. A modern abattoir is currently nearing completion at the Naze, Owerri North local government area. Law and justice reform. The judiciary is a key arm of the government. It ensures that governance at all levels is carried out within the ambit of the law. The government has, through its Law Reform Commission, carried out the revision and reform of obsolete and archaic laws. When completed and published, the legal practitioners shall have access to modern and revised laws to perform their legal duties. The judges needed for quick dispensation of justice have been appointed. 8 judges were recently appointed, while the infrastructure for dispensation of justice are being given a facelift. The Imo State Law Report is in print and will capture judgments of our judges of the High Court and Customary Court of Appeal. The multi-door court approach to settlement of disputes is also being strengthened for effective delivery of dispute settlements without necessarily going through litigation. The government will establish small claims courts and multi-door courts in the state. The aim of the above is to bring justice delivery closer to the grassroots. Government will also establish high courts at Oreorata in Owerri North local government, Umokane in Ohajeboma local government in the year 2023. The purpose is to decongest the courts, ensure quick delivery of justice, and reduce the sufferings of the people. The local government. The government has given the local government councils opportunities to operate, and that's why there is visible infrastructure development in the 27 local government areas. 51 key projects ranging from electricity, water, roads, and buildings are undergoing development. Renovation and reconstruction in different communities of the local government areas are also ongoing. The state government has supported Nigerian police to bring up and repair most of the destroyed police stations in the state by hoodlums. We shall continually give them the enablement to continue delivering infrastructural development. 54 traditional rulers were given staff of office to fill vacant traditional stools in some autonomous communities. This move is to secure our traditional institutions and improve security through settlement of disputes and maintenance of law and order in our autonomous communities. Also, the leadership of traditional rulers in the state were given brand new vehicles, 34 of them, to enhance the dignity of traditional rulers. Budget, economic development and planning. The Ministry of Budget, Economic Planning and Statistics recently generated $11,200,000 additional revenue as grants from the World Bank to the state government. The Ministry of Budget, Economic Planning and Statistics, working with the Ministry of Finance, are the major drivers of state fiscal transparency, accountability and sustainability program of the World Bank, SEFTAS. The disbursement linked indicator, DLI, disbursement linked results, DLR, in Imo State. The bulk of the expected funds in fiscal year 2020 and 2021, as well as fiscal year 2022, cash inflow come through Ministry of Budget, Economic Planning and Statistics, working with Ministry of Finance and other relevant MDS and agencies. Imo State Operation Coordinating Unit. As of January 2020, SUCO registered approximately 10,500 poor and vulnerable households, with coverage of only 9 pilot local government areas in Imo State. Under my leadership and the directive of my administration, the scope of enumeration of EVHSS was expanded to the entire 27 local government areas in Imo State. At the time of preparation of the Social Register Performance Report, over 125,000 PVHSS families in 27 local governments have been enumerated. Presently, Imo State Social Register stands at about 155,785, with 771,026 individuals as of September 23, 2022. Critical matters. Government ensured that the stinking corruption in the payroll system of workers in Imo State is arrested and revenue leakages blocked. These leakages were blocked through the internal revenue mechanism by insisting that all revenue payments should be done through Treasury single account. We have ensured sanity in the finance of the public sector by embarking on a comprehensive process to eliminate corruption, thereby getting the fiscal regime of the state right. Labor, employment, and productivity. The government is keen on establishing artisanal villages at Okigwe and while renovating that of Niger, Naked Industrial Cluster. It is aimed at training 5,000 youths and women to acquire relevant skills in various trades. The need to improve human capital development cannot be overemphasized. Commerce and industry. Government also intends to effectively intensify the discussions of establishing a refinery through PPP arrangements. The government, in a bid to reposition the industrial sector, has recovered the standard shoe industry from Asset Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, and will soon put it back to production. Efforts are in top gear at ridding the state of adulterated goods and services. Recently, the sales of standard measure costs have kicked off as a way of control and standardization. Digital economy. Government has created the Ministry of Digital Economy and e-government to enhance the development of Imo State digital economy and improvement in e-government. This has become necessary because of the new trend. The global economy now is more of a digital economy, representing over 19%. So the training of over 100,000 youths has kicked off. It is a program designed by the state government to empower the youth on different skills of ICT and digital technology. The training program is also specially designed to provide free training and support to another set of 300,000 Imo youths in new innovative and self-employment skills that will equip them to be productive and self-reliant. One of the project objectives is to position Imo State as Africa's digital skill hub through massive training of the youth from all walks of life to enable them to obtain digital literacy skills. Imo State House of Assembly. Mr. Speaker, our relationship has been that of mutual understanding, and that is why a lot of progress has been achieved. Last year's budget presentation was done in your temporary accommodation. Today, I am happy that we have fully reconstructed and commissioned this legislative edifice, fully equipped for the conducive work of this arm of government. I look forward to a better and sustained relationship in the year 2023. Tourism. For some time now, our tourism sector was seen to have been confined to hotel tourism. The other tourist activities of the zoo, the Oguta Lake, of Treasure, and others are being upgraded so as to get the needed attraction and to make revenue and improve the entirely generated revenue of the state. We are also beautifying the Warrior Riverside for tourist attraction. The government is maintaining and upgrading the state secretariat to ensure that civil servants put in their best in the service of the state. Salaries have been paid as at when due. Those not earlier captured or missed capturing were given another opportunity to do so. And I know that the new staff have started receiving their salaries. The issue of promotion that has not been given attention for over 8 years and the attendant low morale of the civil and public servants of the state is now over, as I have granted automatic promotion to all civil and public servants who are qualified for promotion. The head of service and the Civil Service Commission will go ahead and implement this directive to give civil servants a sense of belonging. Work is resuming for the construction office of the head of service building, which has been on the drawing board since the secretariat was built and commissioned in 2005. In the transport sector, the present administration has repaired the moribund pontoon MV Oraj at Oguta Lake. The state now has 2 functional pontoons at Oguta Lake. In order to provide a transportation system from all forms of criminality, the government has instituted a vibrant and strong biometric registration and fleeting of all the commercial buses in the state. biometric registration of all motorcycles and tricycles, will be looked into. Government has not given any approval for this yet. Modalities are being worked out. The state is also witnessing an improved modern traffic control lights at the major roundabouts in the state capital. The State Traffic Management Agency has been revived and will soon be properly populated to become very functional. Government also transformed the Imo State Transport Company by building a very modern park at a serene environment for the company as a transport hub at Onitsha Owerri Road. The company ITC has been transformed to provide inter and intra-city transport systems services in the state. Investment promotion. The government sponsored a team to an international economic summit in Seoul, South Korea. The team showcased Imo State as an investment destination as well as hospitality hub. The provision of an enabling environment and political environment by the state government will make available and all assurances given to investors. The incentives needed to attract foreign investors, which is basically infrastructure, convivial environment, low tax regime, and security assurance, all were demonstrated in South Korea. And as a result, a delegation came here last week and had meetings and presentations to Imo State Executive Council. Discussion is still ongoing. The profile of the 2023 budget. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, having outlined some of the achievements of our government during the period under review in 2022, permit me to now provide some insight about the major policy thrust of the 2023 budget. Major policy thrust. The objective of the 2023 budget is to satisfy the desires of the good people of Imo State, promote sustainable economic development of the state, but most importantly, expand wealth and prosperity. The 2023 budget, therefore, is aligned with the 3 R's mantra, which is reconstruction, rehabilitation, and recovery, which is to promote shared prosperity in Imo State. Government will therefore continue to put the well-being of the citizenry at the center of governance through the ongoing reconstruction of our dilapidated infrastructure, both in the urban and the rural areas, as well as the provision of adequate security to protect the lives and properties of our people. The above mission will be realized by adopting the following strategies. Number 1, participatory governance through open budget process. Number 2, human capital development agenda, that is education, health services, improved technology and infrastructure. Number 3, growing the private sector and encouraging public-private partnerships. Efficient service delivery, grassroots development and exploitation of our natural resources, improved security for citizens and residents of Imo State, job creation and massive economic growth through foreign direct investment, and then increase the internally generated revenue. The macroeconomic environment. The 2023 budget is prepared in line with the federal government's framework and assumptions, taking into cognizance the prevailing economic situation and global and domestic challenges in the country and across the world. The following factors, which has major impact on the economy, were also put into consideration in the preparation of the 2023 budget. Federal Government of Nigeria's Medium-Term Expenditure Framework, MTEP, and the Fiscal Strategy Paper, FSD. The federal government's adoption of an oil price benchmark of $96.57 per barrel, daily oil production estimate of 1.1 million barrels per day, and the exchange rate of 444.81 per US dollar for 2023. The ongoing Russia and Ukrainian war that has assumed a new dimension with severe implications on food and energy prices, the resurgence of COVID-19 in some major world economies, which has led to a slowdown in economic activities in those countries, renewed elevated inflation in most countries, prompting monetary tightening in this economy, with the inherent negative impact on capital inflow to emerging market economies in Nigeria. Challenging macroeconomic and business environment, the impact of the forthcoming 2023 elections and pre-election activities, as the Central Bank of Nigeria has predicted a renewed pressure in the foreign exchange market and accompanied Naira depreciation. The negative impact of insecurity on the domestic economy. Drawing from the above, the 2023 budget is predicated upon a gradual recovery of Nigerian economy after its recovery from recession for the fifth consecutive quarter, growing by 3.11% in real terms and the quarter one of 2022. The Federation Accounts Allocation Commission (FAC) statutory allocation is expected to increase going forward, even as the Nigerian economy is expected to gradually recover during the year 2023, with real GDP expanding at an average annual rate of 3.53% and domestic inflation averaging 16.86%. However, with such a moderate recovery rate that will be supported by high oil prices in global markets, an increase in domestic production, economic diversification, prudent fiscal policy, oil and gas revenue, as well as shared resources such as custom duties and VAT will rub off on the state's revenue from the federal government of Nigeria. Consequently, adequate fiscal measures will be put in place to take care of these and other emerging issues in 2023. The year 2023 budget framework is benchmarked on the following macroeconomic projections. The indicators of 2022, the oil price USD per barrel 96.57, oil production 1.1 million barrels per day, non-USD exchange rate 444.81, inflation rate of 21.09%, GDP growth real 3.75%, state GDP growth 2.30%. I want you also to note that the above data is from Central Bank of Nigeria for year 2022. Projections for year 2023 are not yet available because the federal government budget has not been passed into law by the National Assembly as at that time. Expectations in 2023. The budget of 2023 as estimated has been done with the hindsight of the election that will come next year. I have resolved to continue to deepen infrastructural development, social cohesion, and maintain adequate security for the people of Imo State. Looking at what we have already done in health sector, this government shall develop all the necessary projects that will enhance the human capital development of our people, especially in the health sector, where brain drain has much impacted in service delivery. The loss of accreditation of the optometry school in Imo State University will be addressed, while other health facilities, especially the primary health centers and School of Health and Nursing, will receive adequate attention. Despite the lean resources and our IGR of this government, we have tried to shore up revenue by repositioning our revenue apparatus and by blocking leakages. The government has also ventured into attracting funds from outside the traditional pathways, as I earlier said. We will continue to encourage agencies of government that go out of their traditional ways to get grants from World Bank and other donor agencies to do so. Security. The security of the state is paramount and non-negotiable because all other activities thrive where there is peace. I have therefore elevated Homeland Security and Vigilante Affairs to a ministry to ensure that the battle against insecurity will be coordinated and sustained towards this the state bought 10 armored personnel carriers, in addition to the 4 that we bought earlier for the Nigerian police to fight crime and criminality. Our patience is not wholly directed at fighting crime, but also for peace and conflict resolution. You will agree with me that the security of the state has been stabilized, as the lives and properties of our people are now better secured than last year. However, I have observed with utmost dismay that some politicians are still sponsoring violence, the killing of innocent people, burning of INEC offices, burning of police stations, occasioned by their ill-motivated intention to either frustrate the forthcoming election. But it is, I am confident, and it is my hope, and there is no doubt about it, that election in this country must hold. The revenue. The 2023 budget has a total budgeted revenue of the sum of 450 billion, 450 million, 189,428 come. The sum of 9 billion, 54 million, 960,110 naira is budgeted as personnel cost, which represents 94% of the total budget estimate as come. The overhead cost in the 2023 budget is 47 billion, 670 million, 177,270 naira. While the sum 46 billion, 335 million, 337 million, 355 naira was provided as overhead cost in 2022, representing 2.8% of the total budget estimate. The sum of 15 billion, 743 million, 247,101 naira is increase provided in the budget as Consolidated Revenue Fund charges, CRFC. Summary of the 2023 budget. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House, after a careful assessment of the present economic situation in the country and the prevailing macroeconomic indices, it is my pleasure to present to you a total proposed 2023 budget estimate of 447 billion, 466 million, 276,267 naira. The budget is appropriately christened budget of wealth expansion. What we have put in place, Mr. Speaker, I must make the emphasis. I want to single out 2 signature projects that are considered priority projects which are dear to my heart. Since the establishment of Imo Airport, our people have been denied the opportunity of having enough flights coming to Owerri because of their inability to have night flight activities. My government have decided to embark on installing airfield lighting system to enable Imo Airport to have day and night flights. On the same occasion, since after the Civil War, it has been the global impression that Imo State is landlocked. But recently, working with Nigerian Navy, we discovered that if Orashi River is drained, and from Orashi River to the sea is less than 100 kilometers, and that will open up maritime businesses and economic activities in Imo State. We have also decided to embark, working with Nigerian Navy and some private sectors, to open up Orashi River to the sea and allow maritime activities come into Imo State. That will further boost and stimulate the economic activities and save the federal government the quantum amount of money being spent on pipelines and allow vessels, bigger vessels, come into Imo State, and thereby increasing our internally generated revenue and boosting the economic activities, enhancing job creations and employment opportunities in the state. Recurrent revenue. The total recurrent revenue for 2023 budget is 150 billion, 450 million, 189,428 naira. While that of 2022 was 142 billion, 855 million, 407,202 naira. This represents 5.1% increase in revenue projection. The current expenditure. The current expenditure is 100 billion 904 million 85,427 naira 73 kobo, as against the sum of 96 billion 749 million 349,775 naira in 2022 approved budget. This shows 4.1% increase. The capital expenditure. The capital expenditure in 2023 budget is 373 billion 562 million 190,839 naira, compared to the sum of 284 billion 416 million 597,902 in the 2022 approved budget, showing 23% increase. Sectorial capital expenditure. The economic sector. The 2022 approved capital budget for economic sector was 142 billion 34 million 52,933 naira, while the amount for 2023 is 185 billion 717 million 754,040 naira, representing 23.5% increase. Social services sector. The 2022 approved capital expenditure for social service sector was 55 billion 757 million 500,000. It was slightly decreased to 35 billion 566 million 149,294 naira in 2023 budget, representing 36.2% decrease. General administration services sector. The 2022 approved capital expenditure for general administration services sector was 78 billion 125 million 931,053 naira. The provision for 2023 under general administration service sector is 143 billion 960 million 28,769 naira, representing 45.7% increase. Government transfers. The amount approved for government transfers in 2022 approved capital budget was 8 billion 499 million 113,916 naira. The provision for 2023 government transfers is 5 billion 259 million 526,824 naira, representing 38% decrease. Law and justice sector. The sum of 3 billion 58 million 731,912 naira was provided under this sector in 2023. In summary, the 2023 capital expenditure is 373 billion 562 million 190,839, representing 78.7% of the total budget size. The 2023 budget came to a total of 474 billion 466 million 276,266 naira 90 kobo. The 2023 recurrent revenue in comparison with the 2022 approved budget. Revenue held recurrent revenue items in 2023. The proposed budget 2022 approved budget, the percentage increase and decrease are properly outlined and illustrated in a tabulation form. The current expenditure in comparison with the 2022 approved budget also tabulated. The capital receipts in comparison with the 2022 approved budget also tabulated. The summary of 2023 proposed budget size revenue also tabulated. The capital receipts, both internal and external loans, are also tabulated. Conclusion. Mr. Speaker, my esteemed honorable members, I think it is worth emphasizing that this historic occasion of the presentation of the 2023 budget estimate, a people-driven budget, that one solid legacy my administration has brought into governance is that my government is government of inclusiveness and accountability. I say so because never in the history of Imo State has any administration gone all out as we have done to ensure that the people are part and parcel of the government and inputs are made to government budgets according to the needs and the realities of the people. We initiated a quarterly stakeholders meeting through which we regularly give account of our stewardship to stakeholders. So far, we have held 6 stakeholders meetings. The 7th is scheduled to hold in a few days' time. I also inaugurated an Elders Council, which is a standing consultative committee that interfaces regularly with government. The council is made up of elder statesmen, religious leaders, business icons, and bureaucrats. They meet regularly to appraise government activities and to offer needful advice. It is also on record that we introduce the People's Budget regime, wherein through organized interactions with stakeholders at the grassroots, the people are allowed to make inputs into the budget. This way, the budget will come up with each fiscal year is naturally people's-driven budget. In addition, we usually go the extra mile to make the content of the budget and its implementation public by publishing them on the government website, both in English and the Igbo languages. This ensures that we are not only accountable to the people, but also transparent as well. Little wonder, we have won many cash-backed awards from the World Bank-sponsored State Fiscal Transparency Accountability System, SEFTA, for consistency in accountability and transparent management of our budgetary protocol. Worthy of mention here, Mr. Speaker and members of the House, also, is the fact that we initiated a platform through which every Imo person can interact directly with the governor through a live phone in radio program that involves all the private radio stations in Imo State. During the program, all radio stations are connected online, and Imo people anywhere in the world can phone in to ask the governor any questions uncensored. With all these people-driven policies and programs, you will agree with me that we mean what we say and say what we mean. When we say that we have come to serve Imo people in utmost honesty and with the fear of God, we mean business. Mr. Speaker, honorable members of the House, there can be no better opportunity to extend my appreciation to all of you for your undying support and commitment to the ideas of my shared prosperity administration. You have always been there to offer legislative cooperation whenever it is needed. Without any doubt, you have been worthy partners in the faithful implementation of our vision of a prosperous and peaceful Imo State. I want to thank you all immensely, and I remain proud of you all. As you can deduce from the budget estimates which I am laying before you today, my administration is ever committed to the well-being of every Imo person, whether a child, a boy, a girl, a man, or a woman, including the aged and the disabled. We will continue to vigorously pursue those policies and projects that will create wealth for the ordinary Imo people, providing an enabling environment for investors, and ensuring the security of the lives and property of Imo indigenes and residents. This is the social contract which I entered into with the good people of Imo State. And by the grace of God, I shall keep it with every energy at my behest. It is also in the spirit of this social contract that I am glad to inform my esteemed Imo people that my administration has taken necessary legislative measures to ensure that henceforth those who loot or looted the commonwealth of Imo people are properly brought to book. Lastly, I signed into law a bill by this August Assembly known as the Imo State Public Complaints, Financial Crimes and Anti-Corruption Commission, otherwise known as Law Number 2 of 2022. By the provisions of this law, those who defrauded or defraud Imo people, either by embezzling public funds or looting public treasury or siphoning money for contracts not done and all sundry corrupt practices, will now have to face the full wrath of the law. So let all our sundry take notice, therefore, that the days of business as usual is legally over. All those who committed illegalities in the past will have a way of answering questions. Mr. Speaker, members of the House, it is now my pleasure to lay before this Honorable House the 2023 budget estimate of 447,466,276,270 naira for your consideration and the passage into appropriation law. With the comfort and convenience of modern communication gadgets at your disposal in your brand new chambers, I believe you will pass the budget within record time. I want to thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to thank you, the leadership of the House of Assembly. I want to thank you, honorable members. Long live the Imo State. Long live the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My humble self, distinguished Senator Hope Uzodimma, the Governor of Imo State. May God bless all of us. Thank you.